We're going to do an oil filter change, fuel filter change, and oil change on this fine specimen of a 1997 Dodge Ram 2500 5.9 Cummins 12-valve diesel engine. If you like what you see, please like and subscribe. On these 97 Dodge 5.9 Cummins, it's a 1/2-inch drive for the oil pan plug. Your oil pan does sit towards the front of the truck in the middle. After it's all drained, clean off your surfaces and don't over tighten your plug. The oil filter sits on the passenger side of the truck just under the alternator. I'm going to replace it with a PBL 45335 per liter Boss. When you go to replace the filter, take a little bit of the old oil and put it on the surface of the new O-ring. And then when you're taking this off and putting it back on, be careful because this truck design conveniently placed this battery here right where you're leaning over to replace the filter, and you can arc the battery right into your heart. Fun stuff. Righty tighty, and don't over tighten your filter, just hand tight. Your engine oil fill port sits right in the front. Use yourself a funnel. Despite any kind of OEM recommendation, I use FW40 heavy duty diesel engine oil. Takes about 3 or 4 gallons. Don't overfill your engine. Your dipstick just sits right of the oil port and is conveniently labeled engine oil. Your fuel filter housing sits on the driver's side of the truck, right over here by the fuel injector. It sits kind of up in the truck a tad bit. There's a yellow tab right here you can see that you open up left to drain the housing. You have to unplug this oil and water separator, and then it's a 9/16 in the center of the housing. Just loosen it and then loosen it by hand afterwards so you don't drop your housing into the dirt. And then after it's all taken apart, you can fish it underneath here, and then you can get it up here and bring it down. And there's a few O-rings to replace that I'll show you here in a second. Plug there that's detached, there's just a little tab on the top that you flip up and it comes unplugged really easily. You can loosen up that 9/16 without a wobble, but it does make it easier with one. Definitely need a catch pan when you open up that yellow tab. This is your OEM fuel filter housing for a 97-98 Dodge Ram 5.9 Cummins diesel. There was an aftermarket option to replace these with the old style twist on. This filter comes right out. It has this gasket, this O-ring, and there's a little O-ring on the housing bolt that just gently slides out. The replacement is EcoGuard X F59201. It has all the replacement seals in here, and when you put your new seals on, just make sure to put a little bit of oil or fuel on there to make sure that they're not dry. Now if you're super careful, you can probably fish this back through and not get any dirt on there, but it might be a good idea just to cover it up with a rag until you get it into place. There's a certain way you want to put it back in. You just want to get it so that it seats, and then you can kind of wiggle it back and forth here, and then that way you know you have it right. When you have the housing bolt flush with the top nut, that's when you know you're good. You don't want to over tighten it. You're going to cause some crushing and you'll be a very unhappy person. Make sure to plug your fuel and water sensor back in. After your new fuel filter is installed, right above the starter, there's a primer right there. It's a big 1-inch primer. You push it and it's supposed to bleed out some of the air. If that doesn't work and you have trouble starting, you can loosen up the housing with that 9/16 bolt on top and kind of bleed out the air and bleed out the housing, and then once you see fuel there, tighten it back up. But you can try just pumping that and then starting it and turning it over and idling it up and run it for a few minutes, so you know you have fuel and you're not gonna die, and then make sure you have no leaks, and then you should be good to go. Now it might take a few tries, but eventually it's gonna start. Try one. Try two. Try three. Try four. Try five. We're gonna have to try something different. So I opened up that drain port just for a second just to make sure I had fuel. I did, and then I'm hitting this primer again, and then you can hear the air coming out of the injector. So I'm just gonna prime it a few more times and then try to start it and then see what happens. Here's that sound that I was talking about. That's when you know you have fuel through your system and it should start. All right, here we go. It's like try 6. Again, thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe. Please go through your truck and make sure that there's no leaks. And we'll see you next time.